has not satisfied our prayers. It's just that we're so busy complaining that we don't see the miracle. It's hard to see the miracle through complaints. Okay, so we're going to talk about how God delivered the Israelites from Pharaoh and his army in Egypt, where he delivered them. And, you know, this is, I always say, this time of year. If y'all remember last year, I talked about it last year, this time of year when the season changed, the natural season has changed to fall. But your spiritual season has to do with whatever you are going through now the most. This is where your spiritual season is at, whatever you are going through the most. And also, whatever good that you are gaining the most. This is where your season is spiritually. But in the natural fall season, that's when it begins to get dark quicker. And when it begins to get dark quicker, that's when you find most people depressed. That's when you see the most people that are suicidal. That's when you see the most people that are giving up on that last run of the year, who are easing down, losing momentum, because we're easing down to the end of the year. And you don't see most people pick back up until January. But when you speak over your life and you speak the right words over your life, you should be having life and light every day. Every day. This may be your season of miracles, but yet because you are complaining, you have the blessing and miracle, but you don't see it, and you're not able to access it. Even though it's right in your face, you're not able to access it and enjoy it and understand where God is trying to take you with it. It's not that God isn't delivering. It's just sometimes that we can talk so much until we miss what he has given us, when we miss what he has delivered us from. If you don't believe me that we can miss our deliverance, even though we're delivered, look at some of the women right now who have been delivered out of abusive relationships. Some of those women right now are praying for a long time to get out of those relationships. And now they go back to God praying, Lord, put me back in a relationship. Because they don't recognize the miracle and the blessing of being single. The same with guys. Guys will pray for the Lord to move a woman up out of his life, and then when he does, he can't help himself. He got to run out and see if he can satisfy this woman and that woman, because he missed the part where he was delivered. It's not that God didn't deliver you. You just didn't receive it. Amen. All right, so when we go to Exodus, let us go to I don't know which way I want to start with it, but let me see. Exodus 14, I believe. That's where I want to go. Exodus 14, 21 through 25. That's what we're going to read. And this is talking about how the Lord had delivered them from Pharaoh. 21 through 25. Let me make sure I got my right. Y'all, it's raining cats and dogs here in Candor, North Carolina. Okay. Wait a minute. That may not be the Lord. He just trusting him and most. I'll make sure I'm reading the right one, because there was a specific thing that I wanted to say in there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and read it, though, Exodus 14 and 25. It may be in Numbers what I'm looking for, actually. Yes, it is Numbers. It's Numbers what I am looking for. Numbers 11. And it's talking about how the people began to complain, the Israelites began to complain. So let's start at the beginning here, verse 1. Can y'all hear that rain? And do we have any questions so far? All right. So the Israelites complained. One day the Israelites started complaining about their troubles. Okay, wait a minute. Y'all, give me a minute here. I'm in the wrong version of it. Sorry. Numbers 11. I'm trying to get the NIV version. Because, y'all, sometimes God will bless us and we'll still complain. Okay, so this one says the fire from the Lord. Now the people complained about their hardships in the hearing of the Lord. And when he heard them, his anger was aroused. The fire from the Lord burned among them and consumed some of the outskirts of the camp. When the people cried out to Moses, he prayed to the Lord, and the fire died down. So that place was called Taberah, because fire from the Lord had burned among them. All right, let us keep moving. Quail from the Lord. The rabble with them began to crave other food. And again the Israelites started wailing and said, if only we had meat to eat. We remember the fish we ate in Egypt at no cost, also the cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic. But now we have lost our appetite. We never see anything but this manna. How many of you have complained about the manna in your life? You asked God to do something for you. You asked him to move in your life, to move on your situation. And when he did move on your situation, you began to complain because you kept getting the same result over and over. The manna kept coming. The Israelites were not satisfied. So out of their mouth, they began to complain. Out of their mouth, because they were speaking negatively, they began to have negative actions. Amen. Okay, now on verse 7, the manna was like coriander seed and looked like resin. The people went around gathering it and then ground it in a hand mill or crushed it in a mortar. They cooked it in a pot or made it into loaves, and it tasted like something made with olive oil. When the dew settled on the camp at night, the manna also came down. Moses heard the people of every family wailing at the entrance to their tents. The Lord became exceedingly angry, and Moses was troubled. He asked the Lord, why have you brought this trouble on your servant? What have I done to displease you, that you put the burden of all these people on me? Did I conceive all these people? Did I give them birth? Why do you tell me to carry them in my arms as a nurse carries an infant to the land you promised on oath to their ancestors? Where can I get meat for all these people? They keep wailing to me, give us meat to eat. I cannot carry all these people by myself. The burden is too heavy for me. If this is how you are going to treat me, please go ahead and kill me. If I have found favor in your eyes, and do not let me face my own ruin. How many of you have said, Lord, if this is what I got to go through, then I don't want to do it. If this is what I got to go through, then you should have just not even let me be born. Those are words that are coming out of people's mouths in this season. I'm not saying necessarily the people on this line. Those are either words that you have used before, thought about, or something. And our words have power. Moses got tired. He got tired of the mumbling and complaining himself. So he asked God for help. And the Lord did give him help. He gave him the elders to come in. So the elders did come in. And the spirit and the power that Moses was given was divided among all of them. Let us keep reading. We're on verse 16. The Lord said to Moses, bring me 70 of Israel's elders who are known to you as leaders and officials among the people. Have them come to the tent of meeting, that they may stand there with you. I will come down and speak with you there, and I will take some of the power of the Spirit that is on you and put it on them. They will share the burden of the people with you so that you will not have to carry it alone. Tell the people, consecrate yourselves in preparation for tomorrow, when you will eat meat. The Lord heard you when you wailed. If only we had meat to eat, we were better off in Egypt. How many people have been delivered out of something that you have been going through, and you spoke those words, I was better off where I was at. I'd been better off if you had not moved me. After you done prayed and asked God to do something in your life. See, that's where we are in real life. In 2018, that might have happened way back yonder when, but in 2018, we still have people today that are crying for the meat. They are crying for the meat. They are crying for something to eat. And when God supplies, because it's not what they think it should be or what they have been used to or accustomed to, when He looks for them to stretch in the faith, what ends up happening is they just continue to complain. Continue to complain. And the more you complain, the more you make God angry. And you wonder why you can't step forward. It's because you keep looking backwards. God did not have to deliver anybody. He did not have to deliver the Israelites out of slavery. He did not have to deliver you up out of a broken home. He didn't have to deliver you from a broken relationship. He didn't have to deliver you from a sickness, an illness, but He did. And when He did, instead of giving thanks and being grateful and having a grateful attitude, you spoke the words of negativity. You should have left me where I was at. So those are some people are still trying to have businesses, but they don't trust God to step out on faith. Instead, what they do, I'm going to stay on here. God send you income tax money to get your business started. And when you get the money, you don't see the miracle. You don't see the miracle. So instead, you stay working for somebody else instead of going ahead doing what God has already laid in your heart. And you complain about being in bondage and slavery, but yet you won't speak better. So if you don't speak better, guess what? You're not going to do better. That's the power that words have. That's the influence that words have. So let me continue to read. All right, so we're at verse 9. No, let's start at verse 18. Back to the tell the people. Tell the people, consecrate yourselves in preparation for tomorrow, when you will eat meat. The Lord heard you when you wailed. If only we had meat to eat. We are better off in Egypt. Now the Lord will give you meat, and you will eat it. You will not eat it for just 1 day or 2 days or 5, 10, or 20 days, but for a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils. And your loaves, it, because you have rejected the Lord, who is among you, and have wailed before Him, saying, why did we ever leave Egypt? Rejecting the Lord. Sometimes we reject the Lord and don't even realize it. Because Satan will make it look like we're not getting what we're supposed to have, but God knows our supply. He knows exactly what we need. He knows the steps that it's going to take to get us from point A to Z. We know nothing, but God knows. And He will give us dreams and visions along the way and send people along the way to help us. But sometimes we're so caught up on the words that we have said out of our mouth that we try to keep action on it. Listen what I said, keep action on it. Over those negative words that we spoke out of our mouth at a bad time in our life. Okay, so verse 21, but Moses said, here I am among 600,000 men on foot, and you say, I will give them meat to eat for a whole month. Would they have enough if flocks and herds were slaughtered for them? Would they have enough if all the fish in the sea were caught for them? The Lord answered Moses, is the Lord's arm too short? Now you will see whether or not what I say will come true for you. And you know what? The words that you speak out of your mouth, you will see if they're going to come